Hi friends! Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author Letters from a Bookish Fangirl and Team Lines of Poetry collection. Welcome to another Fangirl Ramblings. I'm so excited for this video as I am all my videos. Today is a special read because it is from one of my favorite series. I love the first book very, very much. So with that said, this is the second book of a series. Beware of any spoilers just coming in from book one. The book itself, I won't do any spoilers, but it could be if you haven't read the first book. And this said book that I am talking about is Heartbreaker by V. Ramos Burton. Look at this cover. I love, love, love these covers. And look at the first one, Heartmender. I actually got this one because of the cover, but also because the blurbs sound amazing. Compare the two and they are just so pretty. The hearts are like the main element of the story, which totally makes sense considering the actual story. I mean, the hearts are the main elements of the covers, but the story too. I recently read Heartbreaker and it is a very good sequel to this series, and there are tons of feels, and as the title says, Heartbreaker, I'm pretty 99.9999% sure it is going to break your heart as well. There are tears involved, there are feels, there is angst, though not like romantic angst. I mean, yes, there is, I feel like a little bit of that, but there is just more angst of what is going to happen, so maybe I should say anticipation of different things that are going on. Lots of feels, lots of tension, lots of adventure. This book really dove into this story world and I loved it, even though it's hard because obviously there are bad things happening with the beast and such, and things are not as they should be, not as they were intended to be. So that was a little bit bittersweet in seeing, wow, we're seeing more of the story world, but also we are seeing how far the darkness has spread in this world. When Heartbreaker starts, it kicks off right where we ended in Heartmender. Lots of action that just comes in and feels and reunion, and there is some happy feels and there's also some sad feels. There's just feels all over the place in this story. But there's also, like I mentioned, there are some hard moments, and Addie definitely does not have things easy. She has been given basically a quest and she's got to unite these group of people together to fight the beast, to conquer and destroy him once and for all. And there are a lot of hardships, not just on Addie, but I felt that it was the hardest maybe for Addie because we're inside of her head and we're seeing her struggle with herself. You know, when you have a massive life-changing event as Addie did in Heartmender, then you come back to your people, to your loved ones, and things are not always the same. They usually are not the same because you're a different person and they're a different person, and sometimes there can be some clashing there. It's not always cool. It's not always pretty, and it was definitely not always pretty in this book. It was sad, but there was also some happy moments that I was really thankful that the author threw in there because I needed those happy moments, especially when you have all this danger and you're sort of doubting or unsure of who to trust, who not to trust, what exactly is going to happen to these people. Are they going to make it uninjured? Because as Addie was in Heartmender, she was injured quite a bit. That trend continues in a Heartbreaker, but I really love these characters. They're very special, and I was surprised that we have another character that is added into this mix or to this group of awesome characters. I will say I had very mixed feelings just all around this said character. I cannot go into much detail about that because it is a spoiler in itself, but stay tuned for that plot twist because that was a good twist, and that is where my feelings really came in, and I felt a lot of things, and I'm really eager to see what happens with that certain character in book 3. Like, I need to know, and I hope that it will be a good thing for said character. Now, I don't know about you guys, okay, but when I read Heartmender, I was a hardcore shipper of Silas and Addie, and I was so incredibly happy to see some ship moments. Like, oh my goodness, so incredibly shippable. But that is where things come into play, and I guess that's where you could say you have some of that angst. Then you have anticipation, and there's heartbreak there, and there are just so many feels that I just wish I could say more because I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But it was really good and really hard all at the same time, and you will know what I mean if you pick up Heartbreaker, and you're just gonna need a box of tissues, okay? Just go ahead, when you get the book, go to the store, or if you already have them, make sure they are near you at all times for this story. I found once again Addie to be very relatable as she was in Heartbreaker. She was definitely different in this book, and there were times that I sort of struggled with her because she's not that same woman. And obviously she wouldn't be. If you're going through the 7 choices, you're not going to be the same person as you were when you went in. I guess what was hard is that Addie puts a lot of pressure on herself, and it makes her very relatable because I can relate to that. And I think it was just hard seeing this relatable character be stronger than how I personally feel sometimes in similar situations. Not that I'm going through the choices, that's not what I mean. When you have an important quest or an important mission that's been placed upon your shoulders, you want to do the best that you can. And sometimes you can think that it all depends on me. It all depends on what I do, and I need to be better. I need the people around me to be better so that this said thing can be the very best that it is. And in the mix of all that, of trying to get better and do better and be better, you miss the kind words sometimes from the loved ones around you or their words of warning. I really resonate with that in Addie. I didn't realize it as I was reading, to be honest, and I didn't love those parts, but it was one moment where literally everything just clicked together, and I saw myself in her past behaviors, in her past actions, and it just all made sense. It was very convicting for me, and I'm just very thankful for Addie's journey and how she is a conqueror. She is powerful. She loves so deeply. I absolutely just adore those things about her. And I was really thankful that this story ended on a hopeful note despite the massive things that go on, because it would have made this story a lot harder and tougher to read without that hopeful element. But that hope is just woven so deeply through these pages. Even when there's hardship and there's trial and there's struggle, hope is still there. Like, it is not forgotten. I definitely recommend Heartbreaker in this series. It is another fantastic novel from Monster Ivy Publishing. It is another fantastic novel from B. Ramis Burton. I hope you check it out, especially if you love fantasy, allegorical fantasy, or Christian fantasy. It is very, very good. Tissues though, have your tissues ready, friends. Let me know if you've read Heartbreaker or if you've read Heartbreaker yet. Also, let me know, what are some of your favorite Christian fantasy novels? I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!